What is up, A team? Welcome back. AuzSOME here. Hope everyone's having an awesome day or not, depending on where it is awesome. And yes, we're back at it today to talk more about crypto, to talk more about the markets. Obviously, a lot of news has come out. We're going to talk about the big question here is what's happening, dude? Like, what is happening right now? Pretty crazy events in the market. There's a lot of finger pointing as to what's going on here. Regardless of what's happening, I still think there's a lot of positivity coming our way. A lot of indicators out there that are still telling us that like maybe we've reached the bottom. But you know what? I'm going to share that with you guys. We're going to go through everything, talk about the markets. It's good to be back here. Long weekend, man. Long weekend of soccer. And like I said, I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I know the markets are down. It's never fun to wake up and see the markets where they're at, but we'll get through it, man. We'll get through it. I promise you that. Been here before, done it, seen it. We always bounce back, and we always bounce back bigger and better than ever. That's how Bitcoin. I mean, go look at the chart. Bitcoin always bounces back into the positives, and so that's what we're hanging on here for. But before I jump into everything, I do want to say what's up to the A team. We got Just Maui in the house here. We got Swords of Daisy. What's up, buddy? I appreciate your comments. It's quite obvious. Or Swift and Bond. Thanks so much for your comments as well, dude. Wild Dog. What's up, Observer? Good to see you, dude. Pipeline. We got Eric Bev in the house here. What's up, buddy? We got Jorge. What's up, man? Steven. XCL Mafia. What's up, XCL Mafia? Hey, dude. XCL still holding strong, bro. Regardless of all the dips and everything out there, the XCL charts are still sitting there. We're still up, almost a 400%. Still sitting around the 0.005. Phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal. And huge community behind that. Love the community. So keep going, guys. You guys are awesome. Griff, what's up, bud? Patrick, Phil, Kyle, Baddest Cat, what's up, man? Evan, good to see you guys. Autobahn, what's up, bud? Guy Camp, what's up, bud? Guy, good to see you, man. BP, Mustang, Crypto Keeper, Joel, what's up, my guy? Appreciate you, man. Good to see everyone here. We got Craig Beats in the house here. What's up, Craig? Jeffrey Mix. Yeah, Deb, what's up, Deb? Good to see R Lake's in the house. What's up, R Lake? I haven't seen our Lake in a minute, dude. What's up, Nick? Shannon, we got Shannon in the house here. What's up, Shannon? My guy, Shannon. Sir Jeremy, what's going on, man? I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a while, dude. Andrew B, what's up, man? Cool Cat, what's up, Cool Cat? I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a minute. I know I've been like really sporadic with my streaming. Obviously, just a lot of things with the kids and soccer going on here. But I'm going to try to be more consistent. I'm going to like put the effort in to be a lot more consistent, at least coming into the final stretch of 2025 here. We're going to end the year on a strong note going into 2026. And so I just, like I said, always appreciate you guys always being here. But we got a big show today. So let's jump into it. We got some things to cover here. Like I said here, one of the biggest things is just like, I guess where everyone's sort of like, stressing is like what's happening with crypto, and that's probably the biggest question I'm getting right now is like what is literally happening with crypto and the markets. And I think it's a good thing to discuss. And you can see right now that the markets are down again. We had a really good low. I mean, you go back and look at Bitcoin hit some lows that we thought, I mean, like I knew it was going to hit the 90s. We talked about it on the stream last week. We talked about it, where it was going to go. We could say that 89 to 90,000 for Bitcoin was where it was going to go. And it's right there, guys. It's right there for the taking. A lot of indicators are saying that could be the bottom of where we're going. You can see Ethereum hitting around that 28 to 2,700 maybe. It's definitely kind of, I know it's shocking to some people, but those are levels we've been talking about here. XRP, we're hoping it would stay around the 220 marker. We're at the 215 marker right now. It's definitely fallen just a little bit here. Overall, the cryptocurrency market almost back to a 3 trillion. It's sitting around 3.2 trillion. Fear and greed index continues to fall down, but we're at levels that haven't seen in quite some time here for the fear and greed. So, a lot more fear. And, is that the bottom? Is that the bottom? We'll see here. You can see our baby Hedera down here continues to fall. Hedera back down to the 14 cent marker, 23% down over the last 7 days. A lot of crypto on sale right now. That's basically what it comes down to is a lot of cryptos on sale. You can see the stock market's taking a little bit of a beating today as well. Dow's down about 200 points. You got NASDAQ down about 113. Today it actually started out really nice. The markets looked like they were going to actually climb. Markets were kind of, like, hey, we have a bounce back. We have actually a decent week coming this week with some announcements with PPI data. NVIDIA's coming out here with earnings. A lot of good things out here. You can see right here. This is what's crazy about this current situation in the market right now. This is why it's sort of crazy to think that we're actually in the levels that we're at here, because in some way I know that this could actually say that we have probably some inflation coming up here, but just imagine the amount of money coming to the markets here. So as you can see right here, the U.S. is preparing for the 2000 stimulus checks. This was talked about with Donald Trump. This is going to be probably in 2026, early 2026, which again, a lot of the conversation has been around, Q1 and Q2 being good months for just the markets. They think that that's like, I mean, obviously, you have Scott Bassen coming out today, Donald Trump coming out today saying that, the Q1, Q2 is going to be like, that's where we're going to start screaming in terms of like the United States economy. We're going to start booming. We're going to get into the golden age of what they've been talking about. Whether that holds true or not, I don't know. So far, it doesn't feel very golden to me with the markets being down with where they're at. But the markets are down, and I'll give you a reason why. There's a lot of data out there suggesting why the markets are down, and we're going to share that. But you can see right here, Japan is also preparing to send out about $110 billion of stimulus checks for theirs. This actually boomed. This actually boomed a little bit for them today in terms of their markets. China has approved about a 1.4 trillion stimulus package. The Fed is officially ending quantitative tightening coming December 1st here. So, I mean, we're only like 13 days away from that, give or take 14 days. Then it says the U.S. is issuing about 1.9 trillion treasuries per year. Canada is restarting its quantitative easing. Global M2 money supply is at records right now. It's still looking phenomenal, by the way. I mean, that's one of our leading indicators out there. And then the global rate cuts are about 320 plus over the last 24 months, which is phenomenal. So you're asking yourself, like, what the hell is happening, dude? Like, things are actually looking pretty damn good. Like, we're getting all this positive things. And again, stimulus checks just mean that could possibly increase inflation. That could be a negative thing out there. Maybe that's what the markets are reacting on. But there's actually some positivity here. You can see the M2 money supply is actually screaming. I mean, this thing is actually holding on steady while Bitcoin continues to drop. I've always said that the M2 money supply is probably our best leading indicator out there. And you can see that's actually holding on very, very strong. So, I mean, if you have any doubt, just go look at this chart. This chart is actually telling us that, like, on a global scale, like, we're actually sitting pretty damn good. So although Bitcoin is being extremely volatile right now and it's actually down, just know that the M2 money supply is still a massive leading indicator for us. And, Bitcoin going down like this while the M2 money supply goes up is kind of rare. Like, this is something that we haven't really seen over the last several. I mean, honestly, this literally broke away. And so the question is, like, fundamentally, what changed? What changed? That's a really, really good question, because if you look at this, I mean, what is happening to crypto? And there's actually a very good, we had our largest liquidation event that happened about 41 days ago, as you guys know. And since then, about 41 days since then, crypto has erased about $1.1 trillion in market cap. And that's roughly about $27 billion per day that's literally leaving the cryptocurrency market, which is nuts. Like, that's a lot. And so you can see over here, like, what changed in this? It says crypto nears about a $4.3 trillion in market cap. Trump announces 100% tariffs on China. This is obviously that massive liquidation event that happened over here, largest in history. We know that this was obviously working with the exchanges and the centralized exchanges, market makers. People literally obliterate. I mean, Binance and all them literally with their market makers obliterated the market. Like, we know that now. There's no question about it. Too much data has come out suggesting otherwise. We know exactly what happened. We know that the market makers continue, they are actually one of the contributors to why we're still in the markets that we're at right now. You can see right here that we had a nice little bounce back from that. We came back up. We hit about a 3.8 trillion to 3.9 trillion. And then Trump says America will be number one in crypto. However, we continue to fall off. And the question is, why do we keep erasing everything that we built back, even when we have the number one person in the world in Trump, the number one economy in the world in the United States, coming out saying that we're going to be number one in crypto, yet we continue to fall. And like I said, we've erased about $1.1 trillion in the last 41 days. And what's crazy about this is this decline has been a strange one. I mean, I could agree 100%. This has been like the weirdest one here. And it's because you can see Bitcoin falls about 25% from record highs, entering into bear market. Like, we are actually entering into the bear market as of right now. There haven't been any bearish developments on the fundamental side of crypto, but the numbers are suggesting otherwise. Like I said, everything's been positive with crypto. We have legislation in there. We have a president who's pro crypto. Everything is actually very positive, yet Bitcoin's down 25%. And it's kind of crazy, but we have kind of fallen into some bearish territory here now, which a lot of us weren't expecting this. So it appears that the structural and mechanical downturn has sort of come to us right now. And as you can see right here, this is the weekly crypto asset flow. We have hit levels. I mean, last time we were down at these levels, was a while ago. I mean, look back over here, beginning of almost a year ago, dude, about 2.9K. We're at 1.2. So we're at the third lowest that we've been at here. And it all starts because of the institutional outflows. I've told you guys this before on the channel, and I've always stood true, is that unfortunately a lot of us were like hoping for ETFs. We all wanted ETFs to come into the markets because we knew the amount of money that could actually flow into these markets. We knew opening up 401ks and allowing that money to flow into crypto would be really good because it would just increase the actual market cap of the global market cap, the global market cap of crypto. Unfortunately, the downside to that is that opens up the doors for institutional investing, which then allows them to dictate markets. And when they hold a large amount, and you got to realize 3 trillion is not that big of a market cap. When you look at like the global market caps of the stock exchanges, we're talking trillions and trillions, 50 to 100 trillion in terms of where these market caps are for a lot of these other, like the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 and just the global scale. These market caps are a lot higher, so they're not as easily manipulated as crypto is still today. Even at a $3 trillion market cap, it's very easy to manipulate that number, especially if you're a large institution holding a significant amount of money. And we know for a fact that these institutions are obviously selling a ton of this. I mean, they've had the biggest outflows in the history of outflows. I mean, just go back and look at this, guys. This is no. I mean, look at this. We're talking roughly over what, 278 trillion on November 12th, 866 trillion on November 13th, 492 trillion on November 14th, and we'll continue to see this number. About 1 p.m. today, we'll see this number probably increase. You'll see that BlackRock, Grayscale, Fidelity, and all them will probably sold another 200 to 300 million dollars in terms of ETFs here. And this is just Bitcoin, right? This is just the Bitcoin side. We can obviously look at the Ethereum side, but that's what's fundamentally is changing here in the crypto side, is that now you have a massive amount of institutional outflows coming in. This started in mid to late October. In the first week of November, crypto funds saw about $1.2 billion of outflows from institutions. So the problem becomes excessive levels of leverage. As you guys know, leverage has been the thing that's been killing the cryptocurrency space right now. Leveraging has just been fun. It's been wild, dude. We obviously trade and we do leverage trades on here. A lot of people are doing leverage trades, but unfortunately what happens with the leverage trade is that it actually creates a massive, like almost like a snowball effect of what happens here. And so, like as you can see, it's common for people out here to take positions for 20x's, 50x's, even 100x's. And if you go back and actually look at, if you go look back at the Bitcoin liquidations, a massive amount of people have like 100x leverage on these things. And it says 2% move at 100x leverage would liquidate your position. So 2% move at 100x, meaning that like the overall market right now, look at this, dude. You can see right here, move to liquidate is 1x is 100%. You move all down 100%. That means 1% move in a crypto will 100% liquidate your position. So this is just a chart showing you when you put your positions in how much the market needs to move for you to be liquidated. And unfortunately, a majority of the people out here are putting 25x's, 50x's, and 100x's on their leveraging, continually liquidating the markets. Okay. Market makers, exchanges know this, dude. They are literally out there seeking out leverages. They're out there seeking out and attacking and destroying people based off this. So we know this happens on exchanges. Like anyone here that's actually leverage trade knows that these exchanges come out here and seek out your trades. That is like, people can say, well, that's conspiracy, that's whatever. You don't know that well, I know that for a fact because we've done it over years and years of doing leverage trades. You see that your positions continually get attacked, positions continually get taken out, and just realize that the higher leverage you put out there, the worse it is for you. I mean, the harder, I mean, like literally, it only takes a 1% change in direction and you completely get liquidated from your positions. And when you go back and actually look at the liquidation chart on CoinGlass here, you'll see the amount of money that's in these 100x to 50x to 25x. It's literally, it's crazy, dude, on how much there is. And we talk about this all the time on the channel here. This isn't like new news here, but you like go back and you look at these. Let's go back and look at the liquidation map here, because the liquidation map is very key here. Look at the amount of orange. You see the orange right here? We have almost like, just like, look at this right now, dude. Like, this is crazy to think that like here at, like, we'll just go for the actual short that people put in here, because people obviously they're shorting the markets right now. Right now, there's literally $6.5 million in, or sorry, 6.5 million Bitcoin in leverage trading right now, and that's at 100x leverage, dude. 50x is sitting here at 2.71 million Bitcoin. Like, we're not talking dollars, we're talking Bitcoin, dude. Like, that's a lot at a 50x. Okay, so go back to this chart that I was just showing you here and just realize, like, dude, it only takes a movement of 2% to 1% to completely liquidate your position, whether you're in a long or a short. And I don't think people are actually really realizing that. And so when millions of traders are using this leverage, this leads to a massive domino effect that just literally starts obliterating the markets because of this. And again, this is the game, but this is what creates the volatility that we're seeing here. So like nothing fundamentally has changed in crypto. Like crypto's the same, everything's the same, but where it comes down to is the speculative traders out here that are trading on these leverages and trying to gamble, and a majority of them are actually getting liquidated both in the long positions and in the short positions, which is actually obliterating the floors of what we're seeing here in crypto. Like this is like no new, this is like, I don't think people actually realize kind of what's happening here. And the more people that are entering the markets doing this leverage trading, it's actually hurting the markets. It really is. And now we're seeing that across the board here. It says, as a result, when this sudden downswing happens in crypto, liquidations surge. As of October 10th, that's about 19.2 billion liquidation spree led to the first ever 20,000 BTC daily candlestick. Excessive levels of leverage have resulted in seemingly hypersensitive markets. This is exactly what this has created, dude. And what sucks about this is it's not necessarily you and I that are causing this leverage trading to cause this. This is actually the market makers in the centralized exchanges seeking out these to just make money. So they're liquidating markets. They don't care whether it's a long or a short. They're just here to make money. They don't give a shit about whether Bitcoin's at 120,000 or 140,000 or whether Bitcoin's at 60,000. They don't care because in between all of that, they're making billions and billions of dollars. And so they want you to come out here and leverage trade. They want you to come out here and put this money here because they don't care about the long-term scheme of things, because they're looking at the last hour, the last 15 minutes of every single hour, because that's where they're going to make their money. And I get that that's like kind of, it could be obvious to some people, but I think it just needed to be said today because I think it's super important that people actually realize kind of what's happening here. It's not nothing to do with what Bitcoin's doing or what XRP is doing. It has nothing to do with that. The markets are literally hinging on the liquidation events that are happening in front of us right now. So anyone that's out there upset, pissed off, doesn't understand why crypto's down, this is why crypto's down. This is exactly why crypto's down. There's nothing, because nothing fundamentally has changed except the massive liquidation events. And then on top of that, you got multiple people trying to gamble, right? They're trying to then put, $10, $20, $30,000 more into their liquidation to try to make back what they lost to then continue to get liquidated again. Like that's literally what's happening. It's over and over and over again. And so you can see just right here, look at this, dude. Over the last 16 days alone, we have seen roughly 3 days with liquidations exceeding 1 billion, dude. This is like not common. This is very uncommon to see here, to get multiple days, 3 days exceeding $1 billion. Like that's not normal. That's literally not normal. Daily liquidations are at 500 million, have become a normal occurrence now. Like that's just like a normal thing we wake up to, and it's like, oh, we could expect to get liquidated at 500 million now. No big deal. It says in a period of this thin volume, this results in violent crypto swings. Again, a $3 trillion market cap is not that big. I mean, when you think about 3 trillion, like 3 trillion is huge, but if you look at it on a global scale, it's not that big. Like these markets are easily manipulated, and they'll continue to get manipulated the smaller that this market cap is. And unfortunately, the people who suffer the most are people like you and I, or maybe retail investors, because the institutions know that you're going to come in and throw another $10 in here, or another $20 here, or another $30 here, $100 here. They're making billions of dollars, and they don't care whether you do it or not. And so this will continue to happen, and we'll continue to have these violent swings because of the amount of people out here leveraging their bags and knowing that it's not a fair game. It's not a fair game at all. And so you guys got to realize that. So when you actually put this in here, you got to make sure that you actually put your stop loss so you're not losing a ton of money, right? Unfortunately, most people get actually completely liquidated. They'll put in $1,000 and they'll fully get liquidated on that 1,000. But it's purely gamble. It's a purely gambling, and that's kind of where we're at right now. And then you can see right here, this is where the extreme fear comes in here. I mean, we just this weekend, dude, we hit literally yesterday, we hit a 10 on the extreme fear. Like this is not normal in crypto, right? We definitely go into fear. We go into like, where the fear and greed index goes down. But I mean, we're at levels that we haven't seen in quite some time. And, this is amplified because of the leveraging that's happening out there. And so that's, I just want to put this out here. I think this is a really, really good article that was put together. And I wanted to share it because I think this is great. And it says, still not convinced? Take a look at the chart of Bitcoin versus gold since October 10th, which was when the liquidation event occurred. As you guys know, we were right in line with gold. we were literally right in line with gold. And I've always said that gold was a good indicator as to where Bitcoin would go. However, what changed? Like all of a sudden we just have like, we're in this massive line, everything's sitting there. And then all of a sudden we just had this massive fall off. And it said for 12 months, gold and Bitcoin moved with high correlation, the safe haven assets. It says since early October, gold has outperformed Bitcoin by 25%. That's not normal, dude. Like that's not normal at all. At zero, that's like not normal. It says the trend is even more evident outside of Bitcoin. Take a look at Ethereum, which is now officially down about 8.5% on the year. Since October 6th, Ether's down a massive 35%. 35% for Ethereum, dude. This is beyond bear market territory despite a broader rally in all risky assets across the board. So as you can see right here, we have entered into the bear market. Like that's crazy to say. But literally since October 10th, when we had that massive liquidation event, we have not been able to recover. Like we have not been able to get out of it. And when you look at this, it says, therefore, zoom out. It actually seems that the crypto market is in a structural bear market. The fundamental value of crypto has only improved, but market dynamics are shifting. So everything's staying the same with crypto, but the market's shifting in a downward trajectory. As with any efficient market, the wrinkles will work their way out. Now, a lot of people out here, including myself, I mean, I think that, like I said, 89,000 to 90,000 is probably the bottom for Bitcoin. That's what I've said last week. I think that's kind of where we're trending now. You go look at, we'll look at the charts here. We'll pull up Bitcoin. We'll pull up the charting on there and where it's at, because there are a lot of numbers that are actually lining up pretty nicely. No more money to keep buying dips, out, tapped out. Yeah, a lot of people are. Alex, I'm with you, dude. I'm not touching. Pump is in, bro. What's up, Oscar? Good to see you, buddy. Austin, you think Zcash will give us more options for our money? Well, you saw Ethereum come out, kind of announce the privacy for the Ethereum side, right? You had Vitalik Buterin come out just recently, it was this weekend, and actually announced that they're going to be looking into doing some privacy for the Ethereum blockchain. I mean, privacy is huge, dude. Especially when you have institutions come in. When you start to talk about RWAs, I said this multiple times on the channel here, dude. Like security is huge, and unfortunately, when it comes to crypto, like that's the thing that we lack the most in this space is security on people's assets. Everything's kind of on there on the chain. Everyone can see everything. I think privacy is huge, and so I think Zcash is great, dude. And I think anything that's working towards privacy or giving people the ability to use privacy in this space, those things will prosper, dude. Those things will prosper. Oh no, crypto's tanking, sell and get all your crypto out forever, and the institutional whales can keep buying in the pumps. Absolutely, Trent. That's exactly what's happening, dude. I'm really going to be pissed if XRP is going to be used as a stablecoin. I don't think it's going to be used as a stablecoin. BTC backed under 90K. I think 89 to 90. I think that's where the levels are, to be honest with you, dude. Institutions might not see it as a risk off asset like we do. It's not gold and silver. True. And Tim, I would agree with you on that, actually. But what's crazy is I don't think it matters, dude. Like I was telling you guys earlier, when you go back and look at this, dude, institutions don't care. These institutions don't care where this is going, right? All they care, or when I say institutions, I mostly mean market makers and exchanges right now don't give a shit. They don't care whether Bitcoin hits 60,000 or whether Bitcoin hits 140,000. They're going to make money either way. These centralized exchanges want these liquidation events to occur, and they'll come out here and argue like, "Oh, we don't benefit from it. We don't." Bullshit, dude. Like that's crazy to think that they would even come out like when the whole hack happened with Bybit and everything like that, and they came out like, "We don't work off of this." It's like, stop. Like, you don't have to lie. Like we all know that you wouldn't be in business if you didn't make money. And so when these liquidation events happen, these exchanges make a ton of money on both sides, whether it's long or whether it's short. And that's why that's happening, dude. I mean, they control the markets, they control where these things go, and it's just an unfortunate event. And unfortunately, when you have institutions out here like BlackRock and Fidelity and Grayscale and Bitwise that are out here selling a significant amount of this and literally dumping this, they're dumping the charts here. That's what it comes down to. So if you have anyone to blame, blame the institutions, because that's what's happening. I mean, look at the amount of Ethereum that's just exiting the markets. From November 11th all the way to November 14th, I mean, we had roughly almost almost $800 million leaving the market just in the last week, just in Ethereum alone on institutional selling. That's not including retail selling. So that's where it's at, dude. And until this stops, literally until Fidelity and BlackRock and you have the exchanges out here, until that stops, we're going to continue to bleed and we're continuing to try to find a floor. And so that's what's crazy about this is that crypto is looking like it's in a bear market, but the exchanges look great. Let's start like the NASDAQ and the Dow. I mean, like these are not even close to entering bear market, but crypto has. That's the crazy part about this. So, as you can see right now, more evidence of a structural shift in crypto. There's more of a structural shift than anything else here. And it says, since the 19.2 billion crypto liquidation on October 10th, gold and Bitcoin have moved the opposite direction, which I showed earlier. Gold has outperformed Bitcoin by 25 percentage points in 1 month, which is not normal. That's like just not normal. It says right here, this comes after months of high positive correlation. Something shifted from the October 10th liquidation event, and the markets hasn't recovered. It's all about leverage and liquidations. Like there's nothing that's literally what shifted. Is that they've literally found a way to manipulate the market so much that we're seeing this. We're seeing the liquidations and leveraging controlling the markets. We're seeing the market makers and the exchanges obliterate the retail investors. That's what it's coming down to. And there's no way around it. You can see right here. I mean, just the Bitcoin market depth. The amount of Bitcoin trades with 1% of mid price has shrunk since October 10th. This is the meltdown that we're talking about here. And so no matter what you think, no matter what it is, Bitcoin market depth has fallen below 30% after the October 10th crash, meaning that we continue to fall in depth. And this really is just to show that the exchanges and market makers are the reasons why this is happening. And there's nothing around that. And again, they could come out and argue against that, but you can't. That there's too much data out there suggesting otherwise. So when you sit back and you think about it, like what's happening in the market, that's what's happening in the market. Okay. Like I just wanted you guys to know that like this is what's happening. It's mostly about the market makers, the exchanges, and the leveraging and liquidations that are happening. That's what's causing this rapid decrease in the markets. People are getting liquidated left and right. I mean, you can go back and look at, and it's annoying to like, if you're following Watch Your Guru or following into people, every 10 minutes they're coming out here saying, oh, 200 million liquidated. Oh, another 400 million liquidated. It's like, yeah, we know, dude. Like we know. It makes me want to almost unfollow the guy because that's all they post now is who's getting liquidated. Because you got to think every day we're losing about $500 million in liquidations on a daily basis, which is crazy. 90 is the floor. Yeah, there's a lot of this. We could look at Bitcoin here. We talked about this on the channel back on Friday, or maybe it was on Thursday. I can't remember what day it was, but you can come back here and see that there's a pretty good floor here, a massive fair value gap. And every time we come and fill this fair value gaps down here, we had a pretty good fair value gap down here from 80,000. This was back on March 25th. We came down and actually filled this back up around 75,000 Bitcoin. And we filled up this massive fair value gap right here. Another fair value gap formed back on April 25th, which was again right after the whole tariff discussion, the whole even Elon and Trump got into it, and then we had a massive rally, hit all-time highs. Now we're going to come back down and fill this fair value gap here. This fair value gap has started to get filled here. We showed this back on Thursday of last week. The fair value gap started around 92,927. This thing came down and is actually sitting currently at 92,411. Like I said, the middle of this fair value gap is sitting around 89. The bottom of this fair value gap is sitting around 86. You can see last time we got roughly within 1%. What is it? About 1%? About a little over 1% of filling this entire fair value gap. So, we're definitely going to probably come down and fill half of this fair value gap, which is around 89. So, like I said, the floor is probably around this 89,000. We go to Ethereum. Ethereum's in the same boat here. Ethereum's sitting around, like I said, we haven't even got close to filling this fair value gap, but we're sitting anywhere from 29 to roughly around 27 to fill this fair value gap, which again formed back on July 25th. And, that's kind of where it's at right now. These fair value gaps are real fair value gaps. This is where I was hoping, you can see right here that we didn't want to go anywhere from like 225 to 215 is probably a nice little window to be inside of right here, just because you can see the massive amount of support that's sitting around this level right here ever since we had our massive pump back in November. So, I think XRP is probably going to sit in this floor around probably around the 215. I'm hoping. You can see it's already filled this fair value gap here, and there's a lot of support sitting right here. So I'm hoping that we just chill here with this. HBAR is sort of in the same boat here. Unfortunately, there is a fair value gap down here, which I don't know if this liquidation event actually was able to fill up this gap right here. But again, a lot of support here from roughly 20 all the way down to where it's at. So these are hard to see, but Bitcoin definitely this is as easy as it gets right here in terms of being able to track this bad boy. This is as easy as it gets right here. We know this is going to probably come down and hit the 89. It's literally lingering right there. So we'll see right here, just like the whales that were dumping XCL when it was pumping. Yeah, they don't care about the projects or the economy. They just want profits. That's true, Alex. I truly believe. I don't think that they care. Like, as long as they're here to make money, dude. Businesses are here to make money. And if they're able to make money off of leverage trading, they're going to continue to do it, dude. You don't think that CZ knows like how much money is in leverage trading? When he opened up Binance and he did all the stuff, It showed that's why he went over and he opened up Aster, right? I mean, Aster's a decentralized, perpetual trading market. Um, the money's in perpetuals, dude. I mean, it's very obvious now. The perpetual trading is like the way to go, and I mean that's why these dexes are fighting. That's why Hyperliquid, you have Aster, so much money in there for these companies, and unfortunately, like I said, the retail investors are, I mean, they're out here putting $100 in, $200 in. Oh, okay, I lost it, but that's $200 gain for these exchanges. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy. Heaven forbid we blame Trump for the economic mess. I'm not here to blame anyone, dude. Like it just sucks either way, dude. I mean, even under Biden, we had high inflation. Right now we know that inflation's down, but the markets are just, I mean, we just had all-time high markets in October. I mean, like literally a month ago. It's hard to complain. Watch out, Oscar's going to steal your info and make it his own. No. I just saw Monad was a 1.2 million followers on Twitter. How are we not talking about that? I mean, well, of course it's going to have huge following, dude. I mean, they're the first pre-sale ever listed by Coinbase. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy, right? I mean, the pre-sale. I mean, you have literally Coinbase launching their first ever pre-sale on a project in Monad, and yeah. So I mean, I would be shocked if they didn't have 1.2 million. I would be shocked if they didn't raise billions or millions of dollars. So it's the default. Austin, what are the odds now that the Fed's rate cuts? The Fed rate cuts actually diminishing. I still think that we're going to probably have a rate cut here, but again, this is actually probably the most accurate chart out here. This is never wrong. This has never been wrong. So I mean, like, if you're out here hedging the markets on whatever it might be, just realize this is usually right. So I mean, you can see right now, we're 59% saying that we're not going to have a rate cut. We're going to stay the same, right? So that's kind of the crazy thing right now is that, I mean, we're sitting at roughly about a 375 to 400. We want to get down to a 350 to 375. And unfortunately, I mean, yeah, it's kind of where it's at, dude. Yeah, 375 is, the current one is sitting around 375 to 400, 59% chance. You can see right here, 350 to 3 is about a 49% chance. So, I mean, you got to realize this was sitting around like almost a 90% back like in October. This was sitting around a 90% that we're going to have a rate cut in December. I mean, go back and watch some previous lives. The previous lives showed that we were going to have a nice little potential rate cut, 90%. This dropped literally 50% since everything has happened here. So, I mean, right now things are not looking good. This is never wrong. CME has never been wrong. So, I mean, usually, like I said, this is actually a lot closer than we think right here. There's still roughly, I mean, we don't cut rates until another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe. I think October 9th or December 9th, 10th, December 10th is when we cut the rates. So, I mean, we're still roughly almost 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out on that, right? What are we? Actually, a little more than that. 1, 2, almost 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, getting on there, give or take. So, I mean, yeah. And then January's obviously come down. I mean, it's gone up to where we could have a 25 base point, but everyone out here is saying that we're kind of looking into Q3 or Q4 of having, a good year. And you got to realize last time we had our shortest bear market happened back in 2020, wasn't it? Our shortest bear market was like 33 days, and when it came to crypto, shortest bear market, I think it was like, I think it was 33 days back in, I can't remember exactly what it was, but we'll see. Yeah, it was on March 20th on the onset of the pandemic. It lasted about 33 days, almost about a month. That was our bear market before we went off into a crazy rally. So, 2020 was a crazy run, and we went into a 33-day bear market. I kind of feel like that's where we're at right now when it comes to crypto. Not like that for the entire. If you go back and look at the Nasdaq and stuff, I mean, the Nasdaq's performing very well. I mean, like let's not get it twisted here. I mean, when you go back and look at the other financial side of the markets here, the Nasdaq, the Dow, the S&P 500, these things are actually performing very well. Yes, they might be down over the last couple of days, but I mean, when in doubt, zoom out on this thing, dude, and you can see. I mean, like this is actually performing very, very nicely. I mean, yeah, it's peaked out here, hit its all-time highs on October 25th before the massive fallout. It's come down, almost 3,000 points since then, but I mean, these markets are actually looking pretty damn good. This is obviously back, when the whole tariff discussions happened right here. We had a massive fallout right there. This was back over here during, here's right out here, the bear market that happened, right? Here's the bear market that happened. We came down roughly right here, and then we had a massive rally out of that. So Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think, like I said, fundamentals haven't changed a whole lot. I think there's just some other things that are being manipulated by institutions in this market. Easy grabbings, easy pickings, and that's kind of what's happening right now. All I see is liquidation of stablecoins being minted. Stablecoins have been minted like no other. If you're shorting, you love those announcements. That's true. If you're shorting the markets right now, you're probably loving it. But what's going to happen is that those shorts are going to get liquidated here soon. It happens every time. You guys know this. We talk about it all the time on the channel here, dude. Like when you go back and look at the liquidation events here, like yeah, shorts might be winning right now, but eventually look at the longs. 92 million longs have been liquidated. Only 1.8 million shorts have been liquidated in the last hour, dude. Almost a billion, dude. Or sorry, 100 million, almost 100 million longs in the last hour, dude. That's crazy to me. The ratio on that is insane. I mean, that's literally 90, almost 92% of the longs right now are getting liquidated. Only 1% of shorts are getting liquidated. We know that like this will flip massively here to where the market's going to pump back, and all these shorts that are out there that are hoping and pushing, they're going to eventually flip this, and the shorts are going to be the ones that are going to get wrecked over here in the next hour. It's going to happen. The ratios over here on the 12 hours a little bit flat here, so this probably won't happen for the next 24 to 48 hours, but it's going to happen. We know that it always flips. I mean, it flips every time. I say 90% of us here don't care about the projects. Crypto was created to avoid centralization. Yeah, unfortunately, Adam, a lot of it's been centralized. For only 7 top companies, not others. That's true. I mean, I would agree with you. 7 top companies are holding the NASDAQ, right? I mean, we know that. I mean, NVIDIA holds a significant portion of that. You can't blame the economic mess on the guy who took all of it. Yeah, rate cuts coming. Rate cuts, yeah, they'll probably come. I mean, I still think that we still have 3 weeks to figure this all out. So it's amazing how bad the Fed has effed it all up. There's a lot hedging on where this is at. We could have cut rates a lot sooner. I think it definitely, if they don't cut rates, we're really screwed. I think so too. Well, and that's probably doesn't help that you go back and you look at the amount of money, 2,000 stimulus checks, 110 billion. I mean, inflation's it's definitely going to be, there could be another wave of inflation because of this. You know what I mean? When you start putting on the money printers like this and start issuing stimulus checks, you start to actually, it starts to actually increase inflation a tad bit. So sorry if I missed some of your guys' comments, dude. I was on a massive tear there. Bears are coming out of the woods again. Austin got that bear spray. Either way, up or down, it's highly speculative. 100%, dude. I think it's super speculative, no matter how you look at it. We aren't going much lower without major fundamental change. And the positive things here is one great thing here is that, I mean, Michael Saylor, this is such a true statement by Michael Saylor. It says Bitcoin is going to surge through the roof to 180 and then crash to 140, and people will be freaking out about it again. Like, this is a true statement. This is what happens every time. The market's massive. They go on a rally, everything's great, and then we take a swing, a 30% swing, and everyone thinks that it's, they start freaking out and they think there's this massive fall off. We do this. This is repeated behavior, and I think it's funny that Michael Saylor said that because I think that's actually true. So regardless of all that stuff that's coming out here, so regardless of all the negative, like there's like a lot of this stuff out here. We have the leverage trading, everything that we talked about here. I do want to say that there's obviously some positive things out here. And I mean, like I said, you have, Scott Bessent out here saying that Q1 and Q2 of next year substantially could be accelerated from the U.S. economy standpoint. So that's kind of where it's looking at. Again, my father's been saying this for a long time. He said it on the channel that he believed that we were going to go into a rough Q4. He said that it was going to be a softening in Q4. We're going to definitely go down. I know a lot of people didn't want to hear that, doesn't mean that we're going we're going into this bear market, but we're definitely going to have a softening, which is happening right in real time right now. And he did say that he believed in Q1 or Q2 of next year that we're going to probably have this nice little rally out of it and a nice little pump to the economy. So like everything that he's saying is exactly what everyone else is saying here. So I mean, like he's kind of the guy that I listen to a lot, but right here, I'm a buyer of standard deviation. Moves to the downside. They don't come often, but they tend to be excellent opportunities here. As you can see right here, there is one right here, short-term holders. As you can see, every time we come down and we hit this, we're definitely going to be bouncing back up here. Massive opportunity here. You can see 49K. This is back in July. 74K back in that was July of 24. Then you have roughly July of 25, or that was April, and then now we're here again hitting these levels here. So like I said, 95K. I'm thinking more, and that's at 95K where it's at right now. We're talking probably roughly 91 to 89. So this chart's a couple days old, but you can see that this is kind of where it's going right now. Along with this, it says want some hopium. Bitcoin at its it said Bitcoin was at this exact same point at this the same exact time in 2015. It then shot up 45% and finished the year up 33%. So you got to realize back in 2015 going into 2016 was a massive bull going into that side right now. And Bitcoin was at the same exact levels with a massive downturn, just like we saw right now. You can see back in November of 2015 going into December, we had a massive downfall here, roughly lost about 35% of its value, which is exactly where Bitcoin's at right now, and then went up about 45% from here on out. So if you want some Santa rally, this maybe is the time for that. Again, there's no way of telling that's what's going to happen here. History has not repeated itself this year, unfortunately. Every time we think that history repeats itself, it's definitely not repeating itself. So, take that with a grain of salt. Buy zones are roughly about you're talking about buy zones for which cryptos? I'm probably not going to invest in Monad. Nah, it'll be too diluted, bro. Well, shit, if I knew that, I would have sold everything. I know, right? I think a lot of us would. Banana hammock at its finest. This is the banana hammock at its finest, dude. I mean, go back and look. The banana hammock guy talked about this, right? Talked about 35% being lost in the value before we have our next roll upward. This low is better than last year's high. Got to look long term. And yeah, I would agree. Corbin, I would agree with you on that 100%. Seiko, what's up, Seiko Hunt? Got it. What's up, buddy? Just dumped it all zeros so we can pump. I know, right? What's going on with your wallet? What's up, Dubs Mom? My wallet's looking pretty good. I feel like my wallet's looking okay. Invest in Pure Wallet, yeah, but I still hold. I think I have like 8K in Pure Wallet. So yeah, a sketchy couple of weeks ahead. Truth is, we will go up and down. Yeah, I agree. When do you think XRP will break the upside? Well, once the clear indicator is when the institution stops selling. I mean, like that's like the easiest thing here. Come here about 1:00. Usually you'll start to see the positive in the markets based off this. Unfortunately, like today, you can see the cryptocurrency market is down. That means that the institutions are still selling. You know what I mean? We're still starting to see a little bit of sell off here. I mean, Ethereum is about to hit below 3,000, dollars, which is kind of crazy. I mean, like, let's be real about it. I mean, last time we were this low, it came down, hit the 3,000 marker here. It hasn't broke the 2,000 into the 2,000s yet, but I mean, last time we we're at this level was June of 2025. So I mean, almost 6 months ago. And hopefully we come down, we fill up this fair value gap here, roughly $2,800. That's kind of my level where it's at, 2,800, and we have a nice little bounce back. This is on the weekly too. No matter how you look at it, guys, the weekly eventually will recover. Last time we were at these lows, which was back in February, which was literally January, February, March, April, we were down here for quite a long time. If we go back and actually pull we pull the date range on this thing. I mean, we're roughly at, let's see, we started to go back up 63 days, dude. 63 days at the bottom. And currently we're sitting at roughly, let's actually pull the days on this one again. We're roughly still, let's see, we hit the bottom here. 65 days would put us at roughly December 22nd, dude, before we start to see a rally out of this. If we went back on the previous, and then we're actually at the bottom for quite a while right there. And this will come back. That's why I love the RSI side of this, because we don't stay at the bottom forever, no matter how you look at it. It doesn't stay at the bottom forever for Bitcoin. This is Ethereum that we're looking at here, and Bitcoin's in the same boat, right? Let's go to Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin doesn't stay down at the bottom very long. No matter how you look at it, dude. We're at the bottom right now, dude. Like literally hit the bottom here. It doesn't stay at the bottom very long. So like for me, like, I mean, we could be at the bottom here. I mean, it could fall just a little bit more to, like I said, 89,000, maybe break into the 89, but that's probably as low as it gets, because you can see right here on the RSI indicator that we have, unfortunately we peaked over here on the MACD right here. Before we haven't poked back over here into the negative side. This is the first time we poked over the negative side since roughly back in April of 2023, which is again entering into the bear market. You know what I mean? Like, so this is the bear market territory here that we're talking about here, because you can see that we have crossed over on that MACD. That's the first time we've crossed back over this, crossed over, which was literally back on January 22nd going into our bear market, which was a nasty bear market, was the last time this actually went over. But I mean, even with that happened, look at this. Last time you go back over to our previous bull run here, you can see we came down really hot right here. We crossed back over here on July 21st, and then we rallied back out of it and had hit our all-time highs for Bitcoin again. So I do think that this rally is going to happen, and that was roughly from July 21st of 2000, or July 19th of 2021, and it took a rally. So that was July, August, September, October, November, almost 5-month rally to get back up to an all-time high for Bitcoin here. So very similar event happening right now, unfolding here. And I think that we're going to eventually have another rally back out of this. We're going to probably hit another all-time high for Bitcoin before we break down into a recession again. I think that's what a lot of this is leaning up to here. But again, that's just what I'm seeing here. Doesn't mean that's exactly how it's going to roll out here, but that's what you're kind of hoping for here. And no matter how you look at it, dude, even when this crosses back over, Bitcoin is eventually going to rally back out at some point, right? I mean, this is going to eventually going to come back up when it comes to the RSI standpoint. So doesn't matter how you look at it. We're at an all-time low right now, or sorry, not an all-time low. We're at a low for Bitcoin. And this is exactly what's going to happen. We talked about this months ago, dude. When Bitcoin was sitting up here on the weekly, I said that Bitcoin was going to come down and hit these levels. Not necessarily the levels of 89 to 92, but I definitely said that this is going to come down. Like we were watching this come down and hit these levels down here over the course of the months. And then it bounced back up, hit an all-time high, and then came back down again. So yeah, I think we're almost to the bottom. I think, and I'm not the only one saying that. I think there's a lot of people out here saying that. So with all that, like I said, there's some positivity still out here. You can see right here, the latest crypto fear greed index shows sentiment is now at its lowest point since February. Go back and look at this. Every time we hit these lows down here at these levels, we have a massive bounce back. So this is another indicator showing that we could potentially be at our low. You come over here and you actually see our short-term, this is short-term holders and profit loss ratios. Again, anytime that we get to these levels right here, this is where we actually start to bounce back nicely. These are actually lower than they were during the FTX capitulation that happened back in late 2022. The depths of last year's bear market we're at right now in terms of short-term holders. So these are just indicators showing here that we actually at the lowest of our bear market, we're actually lower than we were at our lowest during the last bear market in terms of short-term holders and profit loss ratios right now. So that's positive for us. That actually means that we're potentially at the bottom because of these things. So like looking at this from the Glassnode standpoint, like these are positive indicators. I mean, they might be negative in terms of like, yeah, we're at our lows, but we want to try to find the bottom. We're all seeking the bottom here. And I think that we potentially are here at the bottom for this next run. So anyone that's negative out there, just realize that there's a lot of the bearish stuff out here lining up to make us go into the bullish side, right? A lot of us are chasing the bottom here. Right here, this is another one I was talking about here. The Japan's 20-year gold yield surged about 2.75 on their highs. This is obviously due to their package here. So you have the governments over here. You have a lot of their positivity pumping back into the market. This is the highest it's been since their bear market. So things are climbing up here across the board. On top of that, dude, loving this. A lot of us talked about this. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says the crypto market structure bill is nearly done, with only about 10% left before it clears the committee by Thanksgiving, dude. We're talking what, 7, 8 days from now? It says if passed, this could end regulation by enforcement and replace it with real workable rules for crypto. I think this is huge for a lot of us. Proper market oversight for spot trading, clear token tax and compliance pass, transparent disclosure and custody standards. It said this will unlock sideline capital, keep startup building in the U.S., and fuels innovation, including legal chaos. I think this is huge for us. I mean, I think the proper market oversight for spot trading is going to be big, right? We're going to be able to hold exchanges accountable and not do, hold them accountable. I hope this actually goes for perpetual trading. I hope it goes for allowing market makers not to manipulate the markets like they do. Unfortunately, we're seeing that across the board. And it just kind of sucks, dude. Austin, ever been to Walla Walla? I've been there a couple times, dude. Yeah. Huge wine area over there. And one of my best friend's parents, they retired over in Walla Walla. So yeah, I love it over there. Let's see here. Please take a look at ADA and XLM, CME, gaps fills, and it blast off 115. Could be Bitcoin is trying to suppress XRP. Yeah, a little bit. ICP on its own. You like Antics delayed its TG schedule for the 18th until the 27th. Oh, their launch, is that what it is? I wonder why. Yeah, I got like $500 in the Antics pre-sale. Have you sold XCL? I have not sold any XCL, dude. My wallet's public for everyone, dude. What's going on with Pure Wallet? What month are they going to go live? I don't know when they're going to go live. I know the pre-sale ends at the end of the year. Pure Wallet's actually still, let's see. Let's actually take a look at Pure Wallet. As you guys know, Pure Wallet's still in a pre-sale mode as of right now. 44 days left. Still sitting around the 465. Everyone's still able to get these at a good price. So pre-sale ends. I don't know if they actually gave a launch date on this yet, but that's kind of when they're pushing for this to end. So yeah, still there. Another positive thing out here is you got I don't know if this actually holds weight or not, but you got the number one IQ holder The highest person in IQ percentage out here saying that Bitcoin's going to go to 220 in the next 45 days. I don't know if this is true or not, dude. I was kind of like, I was kind of like, yeah, it's great to say it, dude. Just because you're the world's highest IQ, does that matter? I don't know. I was like, didn't really get on board with that one here. But right here, BlackRock's BTF ETF sheds record 463 million as crypto funds see worst week since February. Like I said, this is what will continue to cause massive declines in the markets when we start to see more of this. So that lowers his IQ. Just curious, thinking to buy more. Okay, I'm still holding that XCL strong. Hell yeah, dude. Me too, man. And XCL is still doing good, dude. Let's pull up XCL. XCL is still looking pretty good. I mean, it's still sitting over a 400% since launch, right? I think I looked at it this morning. It was I think it was still still sitting at a 0.005. I mean, it's trying to find its own little floor here too. Still up 400% since launch. That's fantastic, dude. That's still a fantastic level to be at. Knowing that the markets are literally down, literally getting obliterated across the board, and it's still holding here. A lot of it has to do with the community. A lot of it has to do with people out there that are holding it down, and that's definitely what it is. I definitely didn't say that. Tim, he's done. Yeah, that's lower. That lowers his IQ. That's funny. But overall, that's kind of where it's at with the markets, guys. I mean, like the reason why the markets are down is because of a lot of what I just said in this whole stream. I do see our levels. Like I said, I do see the levels getting to those. I mean, that's kind of where I should probably put this level. Here, I'll move this up right here because I do think like 89, maybe like 89, somewhere in the 89 level is probably that's right in the middle of the fair value gap. Is that 89? Is that right in the middle? Let's actually pull that up here a little closer. That's probably right in the middle of that fair value gap right here around like 89.6, 89.7. And I wouldn't be shocked if it hit it, dude. I would not be shocked if it hit it. You can see right here we have, let's create a horizontal line here. I mean, here's a fair value gap sitting right in the middle at like roughly almost 89. Let's actually make that white. And so, again, these buy levels sitting here at roughly 3,000. That level's been there for quite a while, but a massive level of support's down here. So I don't know. Why y'all want to look at alts? They suck this cycle. Yeah, alts have been a little obliterated. I mean, they haven't been that bad. Honestly, dude, like, Kev, a year ago to almost now, I mean, XRP was sitting down here. You could have got XRP at 50 cents, right? Actually, a little lower than that. You could have got it at probably roughly 50 cents. This thing is still up. I mean, if you bought this a year ago, literally a year ago, a couple days ago, right? About a week ago, bought this a year ago. Even if you bought it, a year ago today, I mean, you'd be up roughly almost, even right now, you'd be up almost 300%. Like, that's such a good return. Like, everyone's like, where was the alt market? Where was the alt? Where was the alts? Dude, the alts happened back in November 4th of 2024 when Trump got elected. I mean, that's when alt season happened. A lot of us, I mean, and again, you can say whatever you want, but like I've been saying that for a long time. I thought alt season happened back here. Look at this, dude. And it doesn't mean that this can't bounce back and have a good, a good return here. It still can. But this is where it happened back here right before Trump got elected, dude. That's where the alt season happened. Santa's coming. We're going to be a big run up. I think so too. So when's the bull market? Q1. A lot of them are saying, I mean, it all depends on how Q1 and Q2 works out, dude. The shortest bear market was 33 days. Maybe we have another 33-day bear market. You know what I mean? It kind of feels like we've been in there in one since October. So October 10th would be when we had our sell off here, and here we are again. There was no blow off top. That is not an alt season. I mean, we hit all time highs for a lot of cryptos. You know what I mean? Or at least got potentially to all time highs. But I think that for me, that I'm not saying that was the alt season. I'm just saying that's when it began for me. That's when the alt season began for me, honestly. I mean, because that was suppressed for so long for XRP, XLM, HBAR. A lot of these things were suppressed down at these levels for so long. And then we had this massive blow off, right? I mean, I think we did. I mean, some people could say it wasn't. I mean, go back and look at Solana, dude. Solana back at these times blew off as well, when Trump came in. I mean, this was sitting down here, back before the election here. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that's actually crazy. Solana's kind of a weird one, dude. Solana kind of always is going to be that one that massive sell off down to $7, then all the way back up to where it was. That's crazy, dude. I'm down 80K. Austin, do you think that's a problem? Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to bounce back. I don't think that, like, I think selling any position right now, I'm down some money too. I mean, like, it's funny because like you're up overall on your investments, but it still sucks to wake up and see that you're down, right? I mean, across the board, you look at your investments, you're like, yeah, dude, like, I mean, you're down a significant amount overall. And this would be I could never go and sell my stuff right now. It'd be crazy. It's called diminishing returns. Yeah, it is diminishing. But like I said, I could never go and like sell my XRP right now. Like that'd be the craziest thing to do. Even though I'm up, a pretty good amount. Even though I'm up, what is it? I don't even know what I'm up exactly. I haven't looked at my wallet. I'm up roughly. Let's see. Go back to 30. Oops. I mean, we're talking like roughly what? We're talking like roughly, yeah. I mean, 700%, 700% still over the course of over 3 years. I mean, that's still such a good return, dude. We're still in some kind of crypto void. Cycles don't matter. Cycles kind of seem like they're cooked. I don't know. I don't know if the cycles are cooked or not, dude. That's called stuck. I'm on the belief XRP will decouple and begin the utility run and the government process. The clarity, yeah. I mean, like that's on the verge too, right? I mean, they said they're about approximately 10% away from being completed, which could really be beneficial. We're about to see ETH hit We're about to see ETH hit our numbers in real time here, dude. This is gonna probably fall into the 2.9s here very shortly. I mean, it's already fallen down to 3,022. I'm down 300K, but still have a very positive attitude. Too many good things coming up. I'm with you, man. That's a good one. I'm glad that you have a positive attitude because I'm with you. I try to be very positive too. I think it's bad to be negative. Like I still look at the long term scheme of things here. Like yeah, in the short term, like yeah, it's down, dude. But like I look at it from like this time last year, I'm up. I'm up significantly from this time last year. Like it's not even close. Like just take a year ago. If you're buying these a year ago or held these a year ago, you're still up significantly on your investment. It's insane. I get that there's people that obviously bought in this market and they bought the tops of these, and I get that. Like that we've all been there, dude. We've all been there. Unfortunately, hopefully that strategy changes in this next cycle, and you're able to buy the bottoms of these, and you'll be the one sort of going, yeah, I'm holding it. I'm in a positive position this go around. We waited 3 to 5 years for us to be in positions like this for a lot of people that have been in crypto. So, people are going to have to take their lumps, especially that are new to crypto, and and unfortunately, it's just hey. Just take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. That's one thing that we've seen in this space is no matter how bad it gets, like things will be okay. They end up working out if you're in good cryptos. And that's what we're seeing right now unfold. So everyone knows that Austin has since been growing his beard out looking like a bear. We got into a bear market, just saying. I'm gonna get it trimmed up tomorrow, dude. I'm seeing my barber tomorrow, so I'll get all cleaned up. I'll get it all cleaned up, looking nice tomorrow. It won't look so. Maybe we hit the bottom of the bear tonight because ETH is about to hit 2,900. Has anyone, Austin? I'm gonna DCA in so I can make it to 100K down by the next week. All right, CEO Jorge. Well, if BTC is topped and cycles are still legit, that's true. I'll give you that. And we don't know if it's topped yet, right? I mean, I guess we'll know. We'll know next year. Q1 of next year, we'll really find out, right? If Q1 and Q2 of next year, if we rally back up to an all-time high, I'd say that we might have broke the cycle just a tad bit, but not by much. I think that still the cycles exist, at some point. So I feel like it's the end last time. Buy the dip. It feels like the dip never stops ending, right? My profit taking measures are 100K profit at 22, 3.84 to 509 as a reward. Okay, Adam. History shows pump should have started by and ends January, but it's not following this time. Yeah, it's definitely a little wonky. Like I said, I think a lot of it had to do with October. You should shave it, dude. Fan would kill me if I shaved my beard, dude. Rumors of BTC being created by. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, XRP's hanging in there, dude. Everyone says poor XRP, but XRP a year ago was at 50 cents, guys. Literally 50 cents. So I don't know anyone anyone that invested at that time still holding it, they can't be upset. It's still such a good return. What are my price targets for XRP? Like, where do I think it's going to go? Or how far do I think it's going to fall? Oh my god, dude. You guys are crazy with this whole. I can't even say that word here on YouTube. I'll probably get banned. Catching the tail end. What's up, Brodick? Good to see you, buddy. Next target is 0.5. Next target for XRP. I mean, you can see XRP. Hopefully, we settle around this. Right now, I'm hoping we settle for this level. You can see there's a massive level of support here from, right here at these levels. You can see these volume levels. I mean, there's pretty good levels of support right here, and I'm hoping this is the last level. I mean, if it breaks through this $2, there's not a lot of support left. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, this is the major level of support down here, but I mean, I'm hoping it doesn't sit there. Mr. Stream Brother, good to hear you, dude. I appreciate you showing up, man. Tether's founder was. You guys are crazy, F Joe. You guys are hella crazy, dude. Oh, dude. Smash the like. I appreciate you, bro. So that's where it's at, man. Crypto's on the downturn right now. Nothing you can do about it. Just hold on tight, relax, try to find the cryptos that you like, and see what happens, man. Hedera is down 25% over the last 7 days. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy to think. Bitcoin. I mean, we said roughly 33, 35%, right? 30%, sorry, 30%. That puts us right at that marker of 89, right? 85%, 30%. Last time we had this was roughly 30% right there. 31% came down, boom, hit. Come over here. Last time this happened, roughly about 32% right there. So I mean, we're right on the verge of this happening again. Like this is all lining up exactly how it should be. Man, XRP has 21 spot ETFs lingering. That's true. They do. They definitely use a lot of people, good or bad. Oh, Satoshi. Oh, you guys are talking. Something feels off. Trust the process. I mean, it's been off. Something's been off. I mean, I went through it today. I mean, a lot of it has to do. I think a majority of it has to do with the lever. Like I said, exchanges and market makers are the ones that are causing a lot of this. It's right there for a lot of us to see. So, but with all that, guys, it is the hour, top of the hour. I got some things to do today with Fan. All I can say is I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming on and kicking it with me today on this Monday here. I'd say this beautiful Monday, but this Monday's been a little bit rough. Obviously, with the markets being where they're at, we'll probably continue to see this fall down. Like I said, I mean, we showed you the numbers there. Not saying it's going to hit those numbers. Like I said, we don't know, but I mean, that's kind of where these levels are. We're seeing that, kind of come to fruition right now. I think that'll probably drop us below a $3 trillion market cap if that happens. Probably fall back into the probably 2.8 to 2.9 trillion dollar market cap. But the fear and greed indexes are down at an all-time low. A lot of things are at their all-time lows. We're hitting levels that we hadn't hit since last bear market. So, I mean, that's where we're getting a lot of these people saying that we're in a bear market because we're hitting levels on some of these things that we hadn't seen since the bear market from indicator standpoint. So that's what we're seeing. And hopefully we have a nice little bounce back here very shortly. Like I said, I'm going to continue to hold my cryptos. No reason to sell. We will have some tax harvesting coming up here at the end of the year. So be prepared for that as well. There will be some sells there, but we should have a good week here. I think some earning calls are coming here. There's obviously PMI data coming out here. There could be some positive things coming in the markets here. Hopefully maybe Tuesday. Hopefully we hit some lows today and have a nice little bounce back coming up for the rest of these weeks, but we'll see what happens. So with all that, hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for showing up and holding it down as always. And with all that, we're out. Peace out, everyone.